Hey guys, Tara here. Welcome back to the GTA Online video. This time, I'm going to be proving that you don't just need a Vagner or a Pariah to win races. You can actually race whatever you want, within reason, of course, and still do good in the races and beat what is supposedly the OP cars of the class. Now into turn 1, we get a horrible start. They started out in 3rd, now down into 5th, 2nd, so I was now with the T20. They just completely gone, what are they in front of me doing, just braking in a straight line, which completely kills all my momentum though. We're back into a podium position though. We still have that red card. What is that red card doing? Seriously, what is 2nd place? What are you doing? How have you taken yourself out there? But I'm not going to complain about that. But now we're back up into 2nd place, getting on the leader. And the leader, as you can see, is in an Osiris and we're in a T20. So 2 cars, which clearly aren't a Vagner. And we're still currently winning the race. But it's early doors yet, which, well, leading the race, and maybe around half a lap. So you can't draw any conclusions from that yet, but we got a horrible line and they're just pulling away from us there. But we did find the cheeky corner cuts to the inside line, but that amount of time that we lost there has pretty much just killed our run down this part of the lap so far. Just going for the curb, nice and early under braking it, taking a kind of tight line into the apex, but I think that's the fastest way around that corner. You don't want to take too much for a wide line there and just cost yourself time since it's the line that you can take with the line that we did there. But we are catching back up. So that size a little bit guard gap to whoever's in 3rd place. Couldn't really see them behind us then. And coming into this next right-hander, getting nice and early there on the braking, going for a bit of the Cobra City outside, running out a little bit wide there, getting a bit wide, not the best line in the board there, just getting a bit too much speed there through that chicane. Now going for this corner cut line here around the outside of the cheeky curb booth line, which actually works out okay. If he didn't, without that slide, it could have worked out even better, but still been pretty good so far, getting another slide on there. So the rear of the T20 complaining a little bit about this track that it's on. I mean, probably not the best track in the world for a T20, but it's either this or the Zentorno, and Zentorno pretty much just does the exact same thing. Now the car behind us, I heard, is a Vagner. So the Vagner is coming, of course, with the Vagner with its better... You can't deny that it's the better car on stats and cornering ability, but since he's not leading the race, we're proving so far that, oh, traffic light! Well, that's one way for the leader to try and win the race, is drop a traffic light on my head. But thankfully he managed to get away with that somehow. Now moving a bit further on, we're still in 2nd place, and the leader's just pulling away to the distance now. So that Osiris driver really does have some pace, but the crucial thing is we're still ahead of the Vagner, but not to be ahead of the Vagner. Doing things like that, we drop down to 3rd, and oh, okay, land the right way up at least. Is our spoiler going to be broken? I don't think it is. No, the spoiler's still not far. We get 25 RP for that, so we get something out of that at least. But what that's done now is that's unleashed the Vagner to try and chase down after the Osiris, and of course the Osiris isn't one of the OP cars. But I'm moving a bit further on to the end of the race. I think that's absolutely chucking it down with rain. But you can see there, the Osiris is still in front of the Vagner, and the Vagner you'd think would be the best car, or even more of supposedly the best car in the wet conditions given its cornering ability over the Osiris. But now coming up now to the finish line, into the final lap of the race, and it's going to be the Osiris that takes victory with the Vagner in 2nd, and we round off the podium in 3rd. But still, the Vagner didn't win the race, so the Osiris, even in the rain, still beat a Vagner. Now in this next race, we're in the sports car, so I'm in my Masacre, so we're on Panic Station, so a race about straight line speed. And where are the Pariahs? Oh, there it goes. There go the 2 Pariahs. Of course, they're just Pariahs, absolute. And I've said it in previous videos before that they are supercars that are in the sports class, and honestly they are, but in some cases they are beatable. For pure straight line speed races, with pretty much what this race is, you can keep up with them, but now actually we're up into 2nd place. Where's the leader gone? Where's that lead Pariah gone? But either way, I'm not going to complain that it's completely just disappeared into another dimension. Now we're going side by side now with this Jester race car for the lead. Of course, the Jester isn't as fast in a straight line, but has the definite cornering advantage over the Masacre, so it's going to be 50-50 with me and this Jester. So through this part of the lap, this is where the Masacre is better, but that Jester is just about keeping the lead. Now we get a really good run actually, just keep the power down, and we now keep it into the lead. Now coming up under braking now for this left-hander. This corner causing me quite a few issues before. We actually get a really nice line over it this time. We actually pull a bit of a gap though over the Jester. Now we're going through this next left-hander. You have to brake there. We just can't keep it flat. And the Jester might just be able to get away with the lift off, but you can't keep it flat around that left-hander anyway. Now going for these curbs, it's actually been a really nice start to the lap so far. And actually, I don't think I actually hit anything yet, like any taps off the wall or any silence or anything. So definitely a better start to this race than what I'm used to. Now going through this high speed chicane once again, just can't carry as much speed through there as I wanted. Now comes that Jester now just powering straight back past us. Of course, this is the sector of the lap where the Jester is faster than Sakura, so I'm going to actually try and just keep with the Jester as much as possible through this sector. No, oh dear, that's a horrible line. You can see how much better cornering that Jester has, because the Masacre, just with the natural understeer that the Masacre has, it's just why the Jester is so much better through the corners. And now coming through this sector, now coming back onto where the Massacre's advantage are, I can see getting in the straight line already on the back of the Jester, so now we're coming back now into Massacre territory, now coming into this high-speed left-hander, they've hit the traffic line, spun themselves out, and that's just give us the advantage that we need definitely now. Now we get back up into the lead of the race, coming on to, how many laps is it? Lap 2 of 4, okay, so we've got another 3 laps now to try and hold this lead, but through this sector of the lap we shouldn't have any issues holding the lead. Now moving a bit further on to, I think we're on the same lap still. The Jester, of course, will be catching back up to us now as we're coming back into the sector of the lap where the Jester is the faster car. We've still kept the lead crucially over them so far, so we still have the advantage over them. Unfortunately, the footage cuts a little bit, but nothing happened in that 5 seconds or so. This time we get a much better line there to the inside of that left hand, and we're still keeping it in front of the Jester race car, which is still there right up behind the take-up pedestrian. So I wouldn't want to be in that pedestrian right then, but the pedestrian shouldn't have been there in the first place since traffic's off, so it's therefore for being there. But that Jester, though, is still keeping really close to us now, actually pulling away a little bit from them. But now coming up to this left-hander, which caused me so many issues in the past, and we actually get a really nice line there, just feathering the needle there between them. Just haven't got the confidence to keep it flat through there. But we're still with a little lift off there, we still managed to keep it ahead. Now coming on now onto the final lap of the race, so that was lap 3 we were on there, not carrying on still. Onto lap 2, we may have a gap to the Jester out in front, but still, it's not going to be over yet. It's not over until you cross the finish line. If you remember back to, I think it was the last video, it might have been the one before. We're in the van race and it looked like we're in second place, and then on the final straight, like 100 metres before the line, the leader had some sort of incident with a back marker, so until across the finish line I haven't won this race yet. We're actually still getting a nice run through this first sector so far. It's actually been a really consistent performance from me throughout this race, I have to say. Not been the fastest in the world, but then again I'm not the fastest driver in the world. If we can just keep consistency, where we're going a bit of a horrible line, getting a load of understeer there, so costing us a little bit of time through the sector where we need to be keeping our pace, keeping our advantage up over the Jester. Well, a little mistake like that isn't going to cost us too much time. It's a few pedestrians out on the pavement once again, because there is a corner cut line there to the inside if you want to take it. I think it's a little bit faster because you get the curb boost advantage, but it isn't the most fun of lines in the world if you get it wrong. And of course I saw there was a pedestrian on it, but now only got half a lap left to go now. Just playing it rather risk-free on this lap, I have to say, because we got the advantage, we got the time advantage, got the gap to the Jester, which I think is still in second. And well, we still need to be going fast in this lap, but still just don't take any unnecessary risks that you would do on the previous 3 laps. And something I've just realised now, the Pariah have been absolutely nowhere in this race. I mean, from the start, one of them just went into a different dimension. I don't know what happened to the black one with the red stripes. That was just ended up being absolutely nowhere. But I've only got one sector of the lap left to go. They're coming now into the horrible sector of the lap, and they're getting it all wrong. So they're getting a bit on 2 wheels. Yeah, we just managed to get it all back gathered under control. And I've only got one more corner left to go. Now going on the brakes through there this time. I'm not risking anything. Not risking anything at all there. We've got the gap to the Jester in second. So not even going for the curb boost there on the right. Just bring it home. Bring it to the finish line. Bringing it home for the win. Beating a Jester, but most importantly beating the Pariahs and proving you don't need to be in the fastest cars to win the races. Now looking at one of the prizes. This prize is absolutely way behind us now. I don't know how they're so far behind. See there, we would take the victory, and it's like the Jester in second actually has the fastest lap. I mean, the Jester through the corners does make up the time, but I think I could have gone faster than what I did. And then in third place is actually another Jester, and the Pariahs are in 4th and 5th. They're way behind. This is pretty much proving you don't need a Pariah to win a race. The driver skill advantage makes up easily for a car advantage. So that's been the proof that you don't need the fastest car to win a race. So if you enjoyed these videos, remember to leave a like, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you're new, and check out my Discord server, which will be linked in the description, along with my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, will be linked in the description down below as well. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.